Look, there's a lot to talk about, and it's not going to be solved or resolved here in this little video, but there are a couple things to be brought up here. And I see it very clearly as a historian, as somebody who subscribes to Santiana and the sense that, those who fail to honor history, who remember history, are doomed to repeat it, right? Our president's being played like a fiddle. And I say like a fiddle to a point where he could probably go on hee haw and stand close to Grandpa Jones or Roy Clark, Buck Owens, Archie Clark, and have a good show. There's no doubt in my mind Putin and Xi Jinping are laughing at him. They're playing him. They're playing him like a fool. Putin keeps probing, but he's probing our allies in NATO, whether it was over Poland or now over Denmark with drones. He's pushing and pushing. But you know who else pushed and pushed was Hitler in the mid 30s. And sadly, England and France didn't stand up and nail him for violating the provisions that were put forth in the Treaty of Versailles. Had they done so, that would have been the end of it. The gig would have been up. General Jodl, who later got hung, but at Nuremberg said that was the whole thing. Had they stood up to us, the gig was up, for lack of a better word. Acknowledged that was the plan. And I think it goes the same now. We need to stand up. NATO, but this country leading and put the kibosh on Putin. I mean, now I got to go back and say, the Hitler Trump comparisons are not right. They're unfair. They're wrong. And they need to stop. President Trump is not an anti Semite. President Trump is not putting people in camps. You can't compare him to Hitler, the Hitler we know, certainly after the war started. But as a politician leading up to it, before all this was done, you can make comparison in the sense to Germany. Look, they lost the First World War. They got hit with massive reparations, much of it very unfair. And still, they dug themselves out of the ground. They were the place to go, 25, 26, 27. Berlin was avant-garde. All the beautiful people went there. 1928, the Nazi Party only got 2.8% of the vote, right? But within 5 years, you get this Charlie Chaplin screeching lookalike, this painter, this poster hanger, as chancellor. Then you have a mysterious Reichstag fire, and with that comes the Enabling Act. And so all the freedoms you knew in 28 and maybe 29 by 33 are gone. And I say this to say that be careful, not just of the probing of Putin on a foreign policy wise, but internally, the probing of how far we can go with the First Amendment. Listen, the Bill of Rights are beautiful. I love the Second Amendment. Well, not much the third. That's a quartering act, but the fourth, for sure, the fifth. But the first came first for a reason. When the First Amendment is under attack, be it for freedom of free speech or freedom of the press, remember, media is the enemy of the people, a page out of Goebbels and Hitler. When that's going on, you better sit up straight and be careful, because that is the first place despots and authoritarians, dictators, deal with. So there's a lot to write about in the future. And I hope the future is a lot brighter than the clouds that are over us now. Maybe they lift and the sun is shining brightly. Or maybe they just gather more and we start getting hit with a flood-inducing rainstorm. I don't know. And I don't think anybody else knows, because really in a time that calls for astute leadership, a Lincoln, a Teddy Roosevelt, right? An FDR, an Eisenhower, JFK during the missile crisis, Nixon's foreign policy. How about Ronald Reagan? For those people and what they stood for and how they acted, we are woefully short right now. And I can only hope that the winds of change come quickly, sooner than later, because there's other people that are betting on the opposite outcome. And we all need to sit up straight and keep an eye on it.